Hi guys, SC65MA here, and I decided to try a new viewpoint for this video. Please let me know if you like it or not in comments. I think it allows us to better see the hardware up close, so it should be pretty cool. It also should have this audio quality because at the moment I don't have an external microphone, so being next to the camera's mic is quite important. So let's move on to the topic of this video, and that will be the very latest collective lever I have built. And the cool thing about it is that it consists from two most recent components I have just designed and published. And this is the Mark IV EVO collective base, the USB version of it, and the Bell 407 style semi-scale collective head. So let's start with the features of the base, and then we'll move on to the Bell 407 collective head. So this is the simplified version of the EVO base, which does not have the top extension slot, but don't worry, it's not going anywhere. It will still be available in the more advanced version of the enclosure. This one is just for those of us who want a smaller, more compact, cleaner looking lever, who do not need any extensions for it. So that's why it also has a USB-B socket on the back. This one is a proper, really durable socket. To be honest, I hate those little brittle micro USB stuff. It's not really, it's fine for phones and portable hardware, but it's really not suitable for heavy-duty SIM controls. So I'm using the Type B socket everywhere, from like the Mark IV V2 version of the master controller. So you can see that the new lever has a flat back, which is quite important in my opinion, because that means you can mount it to pretty much anything. You're not limited to the stock rail mount anymore. You can replace this stuff with anything you like. This is the standard mount for the pneumatic mode, which is a standard option, but you can use whatever you like. You can even remove those bolts if you don't like them and mount the lever by your own means. So that's it for the physical side of things. Let's move on to the software features. You can see that the mode switch on the top of the lever is gone, but we have two switches on sides of the lever now. So this one is our mode switch, just like it was before, and this one is a throttle mode switch, which I have recently added. So the idea here is you can select which throttle axis you want to drive with the physical throttle grip. The lever now has two throttle axes, and you select the one that is assigned to the physical grip at the moment. So it has an interesting feature. It's not just when you flip the lever, the axis value does not just jump to where the physical grip is at the moment. You have to move the physical grip to the position of your virtual axis, and then the virtual axis will stick to the physical grip and will move with it. So it's a nice feature that allows you to drive your throttles in a realistic way. It's perfectly fine for, let's say, startup or shutdown, or maybe even the in-flight engine failure, stuff like that. When starting this lever, the new base, make sure to flip the switch up and down to initialize the throttles. So I would like to remind you guys about two other nice features of every collective lever, every Simchair collective lever out there, including this one and all previous versions of it. So the first feature is the button press and throttle cutoff. When you close the throttle, the base will send the throttle press, the button press to the sim. When you open the throttle back up, the joystick button will be depressed. Now the other useful feature is DCS HUI related. The problem with it is that in DCS HUI the throttle axis only works up to the detent position, and when you close it beyond the detent, you have to send keyboard button presses or do it with your mouse. So every Simchair lever with DCS HUI support, which is enabled by default, will send page up and page down button presses when you open and close the throttle. So it will send page down when you close it and page up when you open it. If you haven't tried it yet, please do. I think you'll like it. You should find it pretty useful. For example, the button press and throttle cutoff works great on the Dream Foilbell 407, which has a throttle latch control assignment. So if you assign this in 407, that control assignment actually turns the engine off, which is not really what the latch does in the real helicopter, but it doesn't really matter, as if you assign the button that the base lights when you close the throttle to the throttle latch assignment, you will have a perfectly realistic shutdown procedure. So that's it for the base. Let's move on to the new Bell 407 style collective head. So this one is modeled after the latest version of the 407, and I decided to model one that has the largest number of buttons on it, because it's better from general gaming point of view. More buttons is always better. So let's look at what it has. This is a semi-scale head, so you can see those switches are non-spring loaded to them. landing lights and searchlight. So those switches have 3 buttons each. The middle position is also a joystick button. So one of those buttons is always pressed. Then we have the spring-loaded starter switch, just like the real one. And we have a few push buttons. And then we have a two-way switch for floats arm under a nice red cap, which looks really cool. And then the coolest feature of this head so far is the new head switch. This is a 10mm tactile head switch, which I haven't used in Simchair hardware before. It's very small and quite strong, so it might actually be better than the KY23, because now initially the KY, I thought it would be a good idea to use it as not only a head switch but for analog access, but I really haven't found the rational way to use those analog access, because the KY is not a precise thing, and basically it's almost digital. So having a small digital reliable head switch is even better in my opinion. So even cooler thing about this head switch is that from now on it supports the mode switch too. So when you flip the mode switch here on the base, this head switch gets assigned to 3 different head switches. Actually 2 head switches and 1 set of buttons, because Windows only allows 2 head switches per joystick. So you get 3 head switches instead of 1. This is cool. I have also updated the 412 head and the Huey head to support this feature, so their head switches are now also tripled. Okay, so buttons here, the spring-loaded switch and push buttons are also, they do support mode switch as well. So you have 3 button sets that can be used for these buttons. And one more thing to tell about this head is that it is designed to be used with the physical latch levers, because the real one does not have an idle release button on the panel itself. Like for example the Huey or 412 head, they do have the idle release on the collective head, but this one has it here. So keep that in mind when building this stuff. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. In the next video I will be making a test flight with this lever, and I want to try something cool. I have found that friction tensioner works much better with lithium grease. So when lubricated, it becomes super smooth, and it can even be used without the pneumatic mode, even with heavier heads. So we'll be checking that out. So Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. See ya. Bye.